Hello again, kids. It's the first part of April here. We're expecting a big winter storm tonight, about 6 inches of snow or so. So it's been kind of slow on getting the field work. The frost has still been in the ground here. We've been trying to work that out. Really what we need now is a good rain and about 60, 70 degree weather to get the frost out and get this ground ready, get the soil firmed up where it's able to work up. So our oat planting probably won't be until, we probably won't get our oats planted probably the end of next week will probably be the earliest if we're lucky. Otherwise it's probably going to be about the middle part of the month. Like I said, I usually like to plant oats the first part of April here, but it's probably going to be about the middle part of April right now, the way the weather is shaping up to be. So I'll just give you a recap of what we've been doing here. Last month we hauled out the corn that we were putting in the bin. In the first video I shot, we hauled that all out. It took us about a day and a half. We hauled that out, took it to the elevator that I had sold, and part of it I didn't have sold. They have free storage over there, so it's just sitting over there at the elevator ready to be sold when I call them and tell them to sell it for me. So we did that, and then we also hauled some manure here a couple days ago. In one of our cow yards, because it's been sitting, where we feed them has been in the same spot here for about the first part of January, and once the frost finally did come out, and part of it there, it really got pretty deep, so we need to get some manure hauled out. We got that accomplished, and we pushed some manure up in some other areas where we didn't have enough time to haul it out to the field, and we'll get that done here before we get the crops planted. Those have been kind of the two things we wanted to get done. And also we've been watching these calves here with the up and down weather pattern we've had. You really got to keep an eye on them to make sure they stay healthy and don't get sick on us. Last week after we had that really strong wind of 40 miles an hour out of the south, we had a couple with some down ears and down heads that just looked a little sick. I don't think they're really sick, but too sick, because to catch them took quite an effort to get them caught, to give them a shot to get out of it. And once we gave them a shot, the next day they felt really good. So it's just been that, and then this up and down weather, it's just kind of been hard on them, just a change in weather. So we just been keeping an eye on them, make sure that they all aren't sick and keep staying healthy. So one other thing we're doing, getting ready is we'll be spreading fertilizer here probably the end of the month. Usually we spread fertilizer on our pastures and our crop fields. We usually do our pastures here probably about when we plant our oats, or usually it's the end of March. We usually start putting fertilizer on when the grass starts to green up. Usually we just use urea, which is nitrogen, and this is what it looks like right here, just white pellets. We just spread just urea on our pastures for nitrogen. It'd be just like spreading fertilizer on your lawns in town. So it's about what it does. It just helps the grass grow a little bit better. And usually I like to do that. I like to spread it on and have just like a light rain come in, just bring it down to the roots of the corn, like a 1/4 inch of rain or so. And that really gets the grass growing, so we have a good stand of grass out there for the cows to eat. And then also, I've been going over last month here, we've been going over with my agronomist, putting fertilizer down on our fields, on the crop ground for corn. We sit down and go through what we all want to put on it. And how we do that is he came out last fall and did a soil sample on our fields where we're going to plant our corn. And it tells you how much nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium you need out there. Those are the 3 big things you need. And then also the couple minor ones like sulfur, calcium, or zinc. Those are the kind of the trace minerals in there. But the 3 big ones are the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So I just have a sheet here of what we do. He takes a sample, and then they send this back for what our yield goal will be, like 180 bushel corn or 190 bushel corn. And it gives you recommendations of how much nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium to put on there. So like in that 180, it'd be like 160 pounds of nitrogen, 100 pounds of phosphorus, and 160 pounds of potassium. Usually it doesn't take that much because you have the previous crop out there leaves some for you. So like on this one where it says 160, I think we spread, actually I think this is from last year, and I think we put it like 140 pounds of nitrogen on there, and probably 60-40. So when we read this, when we do a mix, a blend, it'll read like 140, 60, and then a 40, and then probably a sulfur of a 10 on there. That's what it'll read across, and then they know how that comes out to figure in for their formulas. They mix it all up and then bring it out, mix it all up and bring it out and spread it on our field. So I guess that's about it. We go through and decide how much we want to do on each one, and kind of get a cost on how much it's going to be on a per acre basis for each field. So that's what we've been doing, and just kind of going over what we want to do for our chemical strategy, how we want to spray during the summer months and stuff, what we want to shoot for. So that's kind of what we've been doing here the last month and a half.